Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, uh, the chief guest, Dr. Bikram Sharma ji, Piyush Jain ji, Dr. Anukriti ji, and of course the anchor Amrita Pandey ji. So, without taking much of time, because already we are running late, and definitely the speakers are waiting for the our speakers. Now, may I request Dr. Siddharth Unithan to give a little bit about him? He's the gold medalist. It means he is the number one person of his batch who completed his MD Sports Medicine from Sri Ramchandra Medical College. He's working with many sports associations of Kerala, and he was the chairperson or the chief venue medical officer for FIFA Under 17 World Cup football. So you can understand the level of the personality who will be speaking in front of you. Currently, he is working with the chief medical director, Sanjivani Life Care Village of Kerala. So, without taking much of my time, I really request the man from land of God, Miss Dr. Siddharth Unithan. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm visible. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are visible and you are audible even.
Yeah. I'll share my presentation.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I hope my presentation is visible. Uh,
perfect.
yeah. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Vikram because first he told me that Dr. Siddharth, you have got a very small talk to give. And when he put me on basic understanding of sports injuries, I thought that, okay, I've got a lot of work to do. But then when I saw the schedule, it is so much covered. The injury part is so much covered by a lot of speakers. I think you have covered everything. So, who means the delegates are really lucky because I don't think even as doctors we get such a detailed schedule of sports injuries to go through. And I have to thank Dr. Vikram Sharma and the TAR Association as well as Kota University for holding such an extensive web course. I'm going to speak about the basic understanding of sports injuries. Since we have other speakers who will come later, who will be speaking about in detail about other topics, I will just go through the basics, like what is each injury and go through what it is. तो कोई डिफिकल्टी हो तो आप बताइए. आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, आई कैन स्पीक अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ हिंदी, सो आई मिक्स इट अप अ लिटिल बिट. I can speak Tamil, Malayalam, Telugu also a little bit. So if you have got any other questions, I can speak also. But Hindi, I can understand quite well. I can speak a little bit. So I will try to make it also a mix of Hindi also wherever possible from my side. There will be a lot of grammatical errors. Please forgive me beforehand itself. So we'll start with these are some of the famous injuries which an athlete will face. These are elite level athletes. We will be usually as coaches, we face from the ground level to athlete. These pictures, why I put is to tell that all athletes in their lifetime will get injured. Kyunki nobody is out, nobody can have a perfect life without any injury. Koi athlete nahi hoga jo injury nahi ho sakta hai. So it is always, there is always a chance where they will get injured. And so for example, you have seen Anil Kumble, who had his jaw fractured. His jaw got bowling when he was batting, he got hit on the jaw and immediately fractured his jaw. This on the right side you can see Virgil van Dijk. He's a वो तो footballer है from Liverpool. He was the captain. तो क्या हो गया कि he injured his ACL. This was this season. Right now he injured due to an injury like this, exactly when this was the injury which was caused. नीचे पे you can see the basketball player. His name is Gordon Hayward. तो उनका ankle टूटा हुआ है. तो when he landed very badly और टूट गया. और the last person Usain Bolt, ये तो his last race था and he injured his hamstring. After that he retired. तो however elite athlete होने से भी, if even if you train also very heavily also, you are prone for injury. So injury is part of an athlete's life. Or we should know about injury. One of the reasons why this course is that क्योंकि most of the coaches या physical education teachers, oh injury हो गया डॉक्टर से बता, we will take it to the doctor. तो क्या हो रहा है कि they don't know what the injury और क्या करना है और what is to be done, और they don't know what the injury is. तो ये वाला lecture is basically to make you understand कि ये है injury और this is what we do. So क्या है sports injury? What is the definition of sports injury? So sports injury is basically a damage to the body due to any form of exercise or sports. It occurs as a result of participation. When खेलते वक्त या game वक्त you get practice वक्त या खेलते वक्त you get an injury, तब भी you will get an injury. Usually it requires medical attention by a team doctor or physio. नहीं तो it's not called as a sports injury unless when you go to a team doctor, then only it's called. नहीं तो it's a very minor thing which can be handled. Usually we don't call वो वाला to be a sports injury. Results in restriction of athletes participation for 1 or more days after the injury. वही है, this is what how we define a sports injury. Sports injury कब होता है और in which category of sports? तो there are 3 category of sports. Basically there is something called contact or collision sport, which is such as rugby या boxing. तो आप पिक्चर देख सकते हैं, on top is rugby, collision जैसा he started bleeding, so that is a typical sport injury which is seen in rugby. दूसरा वाला you can see something called limited contact, जैसा वॉलीबॉल बेसबॉल, वहां पे कांटेक्ट नहीं होता है बट there is थोड़ा सा कांटेक्ट और इम्पैक्ट होता है when the ball hits और वगैरह. So that is usually seen in volleyball, baseball जैसा sport. Theoretically बास्केटबॉल भी एक limited contact sport है, पर we allow that contact क्योंकि for the flow of the game. नहीं तो in basketball also any form of contact is considered as a foul, theoretically speaking, but practically ऐसा नहीं होता है. It is considered as almost a contact sport. तीसरा is non contact sport where कोई contact नहीं होता है. It's such as archery, athletics, such. So इस 3 से ही injuries होता है. This can occur during practice या वाला game. तो let's come to types of injury. तो usually 2 type of injuries होता है. One is acute और दूसरा chronic. ये acute what does it mean? क्या it means जो जल्दी से होता है, मींस which occurs immediately, वही है acute injury. So rapid onset के मतलब means immediate onset. So mainly resulting from trauma, जैसा वो पिक्चर दिख रहा है ना, so immediately he has landed, he has tackled him onto the leg, तो ankle injury होगा, तो वही है acute injury. Acute injuries typically involve significant trauma following pain and swelling. Example, twisting of ankle during landing in basketball. So immediate injury is what is called as acute. दूसरा वाला is chronic injury. So chronic injury means slow onset, gradual development of damage, क्योंकि it never occurs within one day. It occurs slowly. थोड़ा सा usually it occurs like एक back pain होगा. You will get slowly एक back pain on the back. It थोड़ा सा ही होगा and then slowly it increases like daily in within 2 months it has increased very much. ये वाला is called as chronic back pain बताता है. So this is what is a chronic injury. ये वाला develops over time. It is associated with repetitive cyclic activities जैसे running example. Injuries, ये वाला injuries are commonly sometimes called as overuse injuries. तो common sites are Achilles tendon, patellar tendon, rotator cuff. Achilles tendon is the tendon हमारा leg पे below the calf. So that is near the heel. It is called as the Achilles tendon. Patellar tendon is near the knee. Knee joint के बाजू में है, वो वही है patellar tendon. और rotator cuff shoulder muscles. तो वही है rotator cuff muscles. So coming to overuse injury. So I told you chronic injuries are maybe most commonly called as due to overuse basically. तो overuse injuries 2 cause क्या होता है. One is intrinsic और extrinsic. ये intrinsic और extrinsic क्या होता है कि intrinsic is something within the body. जैसा deficiencies हमारा due to inside factors होता है, जैसा deficiencies such as vitamin D deficiency वो वगैरह, that is why you get such an injury. Second, lack of flexibility, बहुत muscle tightness होता है ना, when we train somebody we tell them oh ये तो बहुत tight है and then immediately he gets a hamstring injury. That is an intrinsic factor, उसका flexibility कम है तो इस वजह से he is getting an injury. Teresa, psychology, sometimes a psychological factor can occur. He is not very confidence नहीं है तो he can get injured. Extrinsic factors है तो it is from an outside. something ज्यादा ट्रेनिंग कर रहा है, नहीं तो लैक ऑफ adequate rest, he's not recovering, बहुत ज्यादा ट्रेन कर रहा है, playing on uneven or hard surface. For example, long jump, when you do a long jump, तो you have the ground very hard, वो तो sand is not, you know, as days increases, the sound becomes the sand becomes very hard. So what happens, injury हो जाएगा as he keeps on jumping onto the sand. वही है extrinsic factor. So overuse injuries can occur due to two types. One is internal, जो हमारा problem है, that is from within the body. नहीं तो extrinsic is from outside the body. वही है overuse injuries. तो injury कैसा classify कर सकता है? So sprains. तो sprains is basically ligament का injury है, होता है sprains. So you would have heard of doctor बता, whenever you go to doctor की ankle twist हो गया and you tell that doctor ankle sprain हो गया, तो he might say that हाँ it looks like a first degree sprain. ये वाला first degree क्या है कि it is just a mild injury, mild pain with little or no swelling. Second degree तो ligament damage थोड़ा ज्यादा है, there is pain और ज्यादा swelling है, तो which you can see in the picture is somewhat like a second degree. और third degree is a complete tear of ligament, जब पूरा कटा हुआ है ligament, तो that is called as a complete tear of ligament. So there is 3 degrees, so first degree, second degree और third degree. ये sprains बताते हैं, when we term something as sprain, वो ligament का directed हुआ है, it's always directed towards the ligament. Similarly there is strains. ये वाला strains is basically for the हमारा muscles के कारण से, so tendons, so ये muscles को हम when muscles get injured call it as strains. So ये वाला भी there are 3 degrees, first degree, second degree और third degree. वो वाला पिक्चर देख सकते हैं आप, तो वो वाला फर्स्ट डिग्री में you can see that there is only mild injury, little, थोड़ा सा no swelling और थोड़ा सा swelling होगा, पेन होगा noticeable, जब when you do some stretching movement तो you will start noticing pain. ये वाला is called as first degree strain. सेकेंड डिग्री होता है कि जब थोड़ा सा हाफ कटा हुआ है या थोड़ा सा कटा हुआ है, तो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज मोर एक्सटेंसिव डैमेज, थोड़ा सा ज्यादा डैमेज है, पेन होगा जब इवन इफ यू वॉक, और या से फॉर एग्जांपल काफ इंजरी होता है तो इमीडिएटली व्हेन यू वॉक इटसेल्फ यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग पेन, या व्हेन यू प्रेस इटसेल्फ थोड़ा पेन हो रहा है, तो दैट इज यूजुअली सीन इन सेकंड डिग्री. एंड थर्ड डिग्री जब पूरा कटा हुआ है, वही है कंप्लीट रप्चर. तो इसका ट्रीटमेंट भी इज ऑल्सो समथिंग सिमिलर. सो फर्स्ट डिग्री यूजुअली फर्स्ट एंड सेकंड डिग्री डिपेंड्स अपॉन कहाँ पे टेयर है एंड अकॉर्डिंगली ट्रीटमेंट. And we have got enough topics of each area like upper limb, lower limb, so they will explain about each area की injury जब होगा तो कैसा treat भी करना पड़ेगा, how whether it requires surgery या it requires rehabilitation, so they will explain it further. Theoretically third degree तो you will always go for surgery, first and second degree maybe depends upon the injury, first degree is always rehab, second degree depending upon कहाँ पे injury हो, that is where we decide surgery is required or not required. Usually the doctor will decide, but this is the basic concept of an injury जब strain या sprain होता है, and this is the most common thing which occurs in any athlete, sprain या strain. दूसरा which we see is something called contusion. ये contusion क्या होता है कि when we say something called bruise, ये वाला पिक्चर देख सकते हैं आप, तो in that what you see reddish, it has become bluish color, वही है bruise. Just when direct contact होता है, when there is a hit, जब आप contact sport कर रहे हैं तो there is a direct blow, तब एक contusion होता है, तो that is what it is called as a contusion. ये क्यों होता है कि to a contact there is compression of the tissue, ये वाला tissue होता है कि is our soft tissue, तो ये वाला it hits onto the muscle and वो it becomes bluish, there is slight bleeding और ये blue color होता है. तो contusions are associated with pain, stiffness, थोड़ा swelling. Hematoma is basically क्या होता है कि when blood clots बताता है ना, we tell that there is a clot वहाँ पे hand पे या swelling पे, वो वही है hematoma. It is a medical term for a clot. दूसरा इज लैसरेशन. लैसरेशन क्या होता है कि एनी वुंड ड्यू टू टेयरिंग ऑफ दैट सॉफ्ट टिश्यू, जब एक सॉफ्ट टिश्यू थोड़ा सा कटा हुआ है, दैट टाइम इट इज यूजुअली कॉन्टैक्ट स्पोर्ट्स, या इट आल्सो occurs in football when you fall down or you cut yourself, तो this thing usually bleeding will be noticed. तो इसमें you will do usually a little bit of suturing, yeah, you will dress it up and you will clean it. वही है laceration. Now coming to skeletal tissue injuries. Yes, skeletal tissue injuries basically means bone ka injuries. So skeletal tissue meaning is bones basically. So bone main thing is fracture. So as you can see in the picture, jab a footballer he has hit onto the leg and directly fracture hua hai. He has fractured most probably his tibia bone. So it is fractured. So fractures are basically kya aate, you know that it is breaks or cracks in a bone basically. Fractures different type of classification hai. It is very complicated to explain fractures in different forms, but there are different classifications. I'll keep it very simple. So you just need to know that fractures is basically breaks or cracks. Example is mechanism, or how they classify is based on mechanism. So mechanism is directly a contact hota hai, so it is called as a direct fracture. Indirect fracture hota hai, displacement hota hai. So there are different formats of classification. Wohi hai this thing. It becomes very complicated if we go into fractures as a topic itself, but you should know that fractures is it's also very commonly occurring injury which occurs. Coming to dislocation. Dislocation is basically displacement of bones within a joint. Example, shoulder joint dislocation. So ye wala rugby player hai, so you can see actually his left shoulder has been dislocated. तो पूरा गिरा हुआ है, it has come down. It's a very typical case. ऐसा ही athletes or players will come to you, or children will come to you showing that they have dislocated the shoulder. They will be holding their arm like this as shown in the picture, and this is what a dislocation is. We will be explaining later in topic. We will also have like upper limb explanation. So वहाँ पे they will explain in detail क्या करना है, what to do and what not to do when you do treat a dislocation. My basic explanation is so that you know what a dislocation कि एक joint पे जब bone separates from its normal way, that is what displacement ना separation, वही है explanation. तो वो डिस्प्लेसमेंट ऑफ द बोन एक जॉइंट के अंदर से डिस्प्लेस होता है, तो वही है डिसलोकेशन. सबलक्सेशन क्या होता है कि पार्शियली डिस्प्लेस्ड होता है, दैट इज ओनली पार्ट डिस्प्लेस हो रहा है. इट्स नॉट, इट मे गो बैक एंड इट मे गो आउट और कम बैक. तो यू माइट नोटिस इट इन नी, जब पटेला, हमारा पटेला नी जॉइंट पे है ना, पटेला बोन, वो सेपरेट होता है और इट कम्स बैक, वो सबलक्सेशन होता है. ऑल्सो इन द शोल्डर भी हो सकता है, यू फील दैट नीचे हो रहा है और देन इट सडनली कमिंग अप, तो वही है सबलक्सेशन. तो दो द्वारा है, दैट इज समथिंग कॉल्ड डिसलोकेशन और सबलक्सेशन. देन कमिंग टू इमरजेंसी इंजरीज. So we have one whole day on a Sunday. We'll be explaining about emergency injuries. It will be done very beautifully. Sir has divided it very nicely as different topic कि कैसा manage करना पड़ेगा, AED management, CPR management. तो very nicely he has given. I'll just tell what it is. So emergency injury की मतलब है कि it means life threatening या it causes permanent damage. वही है emergency injuries. It can occur direct या indirect result of sports participation. Direct की मतलब you get hit, जैसा ये वाला फोटो है ना, you must have heard of Philip Hughes. Philip Hughes cricketer था ऑस्ट्रेलिया का. He got hit onto by the ball and immediately he lost consciousness and passed away unfortunately. वही, it was due to a direct contact. Indirect होता है कि marathon he is running and he suddenly collapses, तो वही है indirect result of sports participation. तो example, head injury, loss of consciousness, etc. वही है emergency injuries. Or we'll be having a detailed explanation classes later. Concussion. ये वाला concussion is something which many coaches and many trainers don't know much about. They have heard of concussion कि head injury, it's a type of head injury. वही है concussion. One thing which I appreciate is that a class we have separately for concussion itself, which is very important क्योंकि coaches as well as physical education teachers don't understand कि concussion में क्या होता है और क्या करना पड़ेगा. तो that is what we'll be explaining in other classes as well. I will just explain basically what is concussion. तो it is a traumatic brain injury. वही है, तो trauma से ये वाला brain injury होता है. So immediately like वो वाला फोटो देख रहे हैं ना आप, तो when they are going for heading the ball, they hit each other's head. तो ट्रॉमा होता है ब्रेन पे, because the brain is protected by the skull, but injury हो सकता है, तो it gets hit होने से you get something called concussion. तो this is seen usually only in contact sport. तो if concussed immediately play stop करना पड़ेगा. You should not allow him to continue क्योंकि उसका life का danger होता है. Medical referral compulsory. यहाँ पे do not make him wait or sit और देखते हैं okay कैसा है and then we will see whether we have to send. नहीं, if you notice that he is concussed, he is confused, immediately refer to the medical team. Injury recognition. Now so I hope you understand the classification of injury. So basically these are the classification of injury. What is why this topic has been taken is basically क्योंकि coaches and physical education teachers role, that is the most important. Coaches and physical education teachers are most often first to arrive at the scene of an injury. कोई injury हो तो usually it is the coach or the physical education in India, they come first always, they are the first arrival of the scene. Unfortunately they don't understand what to do कि क्या करना पड़ेगा. They have much idea, so they immediately rush to the hospital. पर this lectures series की different lectures which we are having hopefully will make them understand कि क्या करना पड़ेगा, how to manage immediately, basic life support कैसे दे सकते हैं, and then immediately we can shift him by stabilizing him. वही है the most important, and how to manage it थोड़ा सा at least. And understanding so that you can explain क्योंकि whatever said and done, an athlete is closer to a coach, is not as close to a doctor. So when a coach says that see ये वाला injury है, you have to take rest, he will listen more to the coach than to the doctor. So the coach is the most important person here. Recognize and determine if the injury requires immediate referral. तो you have to understand कि ये वाला इंजरी ओके थोड़ा ज्यादा है, दिस इज एन इमरजेंसी, इमीडिएटली सेंड करना पड़ेगा. एग्जांपल कंकशन. रेफरल फास्टर रिटर्न टू स्पोर्ट्स. तो क्यों रेफरल करना पड़ेगा इज बिकॉज यू कैन फास्टर रिटर्न टू स्पोर्ट्स एंड बेटर इंजरी डायग्नोस्टिक्स, क्योंकि एट द एंड यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि ये वाला इंजरी इज व्हाट एंड हाउ टू रिटर्न फास्टर. तो कमिंग टू द मोस्ट कॉमन इंजरीज, वही है मोस्ट कॉमन डायग्नोसिस. तो मैंने बताया थी कि स्ट्रेन और स्प्रेन वही है मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. तो if you notice ये वाला एक स्टडी है, in that study they have explained that the most common injury is a strain or sprain. तो earlier I had explained that strain क्या होता है कि it is an injury to the muscle or sprain is an injury to the ligament. यही है the most common injury which an athlete will face, कि muscle या ligament injury हो सकता है. Second is always fractures, कि कोई बंदे की stress fracture या normal fracture हो सकता है. तो stress fracture is basically a small fracture. A hairline fracture को हम stress fracture बताते हैं, and a major fracture भी हो सकता है. दूसरा is contusions. तो आप contusions भी पता है, basically एक bruise होता है, that is what is contusion. Concussions already explained. जब traumatic head injury होता है, you feel confused, that is usually concussion. Others are not stated is the others one. Laceration भी हो सकता है, that's what I told. जब cuts सब हो सकता है, that is what is laceration. और फिर dislocation. If you look at total common injury to the body, जब हम देख सकते हैं, the most common usually is towards the head, क्योंकि whenever we play sport, usually the head, तो football we go for heading, तो face या boxing, it always head is getting involved quite a lot. So head injuries are very common, face injuries are common. Fingers, problem ये है कि most of the people do not focus on fingers, but क्योंकि fingers is quite a lot of injuries होता है, dislocations या injuries. You take our cricket players, always they are taped, finger is always taped, they get injured quite a lot on their fingers. फिर knee or ankle also a lot of people get ankle twist. If you notice that a lot of people get ankle twist, or वही है, that is one of the reasons. So if you look at the maximum is always at the ankle, second is always at the head, then third is always at the finger. These are the three major injuries, and we are covering all of these areas very much in detail in our further lectures as well. Coming to small thing about sports injuries in children. Injuries in children, diagnosis is very important. US study showed around 4 out of 1,000 school children get sports injuries. In India also, they did a study in Chandigarh, and in Chandigarh they found out that also similarly almost 3 out of 1,000 children get sports injury. Now coming to coaches and physical education teachers are always the first on scene to injury, because usually in children's sport क्या होता है कि we don't have usually good, because it's not professional.
Please, participants,
आता है तो उसको बता दिया जाएगा कि भाई
yourself.
देखो ऐसा है दोस्त,
आप हिंदी में कुछ बात करें.
Participants, please mute yourself. Right, sir. I suppose you may continue.
Okay. So as I was as I was saying, um, coaches and usually in children's sports there is always sorry, my thought has been stopped, so I'll again say, so basically in school children's sports what has happened is that teachers and coaches are always the first to go onto the field for any form of injury. In any other sport, usually professional sport, you always have a doctor, a physio, yeah, whatever sport. But always in children's sports, it is always lesser. So that's why sports injuries in children is very important. And as teachers, these injuries which we are explaining to you about, so that how to handle it, how to manage it, and get an understanding, so that you can explain it also, so that you get an idea. Because recently I had a very big football team. We were talking about injury management. At that time they told that after we go to the doctor, we don't know what is happening, we don't know about the injury. When even the doctor says also, we don't understand ki kya hai injury, we have no idea. That is a coach who told me. We just think, okay, whatever doctor says is right. Doctor knows everything, but as a coach you should also know ki kya hai injury, what is the purpose of this injury, and how do we handle it, and how we can work as a team. Wahi hai, that is the most important thing. And these lectures I'm sure that will help you guys for improving yourself in learning more about injuries. um, I'm coming to the end so that you don't get bored even more. So our injury management is a team approach. That is the most important thing. Earlier it was only a doctor approach, but now it is a team approach, because we have the athlete and the coach. That's what, if you notice, the coach and the athlete is at the center, because they are the most important people who will be talking to everybody else. So you have the doctor who is the physician, or the orthopedician who is the doctor. You have an athletic trainer. You have a physiotherapist. You have a massage therapist. You have a podiatrist who is podiatrist. बताया कि is somebody who looks at the leg basically. This is international basically. कि psychologist, dietitian है, others है. So if you notice that ये वाला team approach है. Nobody works individually. It means everybody works together. नहीं तो you cannot get an athlete. And वही है what is missing in our system. If you notice we don't have a proper collection of systems, so that is what we are trying to work, so that the coach also knows what is happening, or sub coach can work together, so that the athlete coach, that combination can bring the athlete the best possible treatment. So to summarize, injury is inevitable. Inevitable का मतलब is that you will get injured. Athlete होने से ही you will get injured. कि there is no athlete in this world. You take any athlete, Ronaldo से, you take Usain Bolt, या you take Sachin Tendulkar, कोई athlete, whatever sport you play, you are bound to get injury. Even Vishwanathan Anand, who plays chess, has had an injury. So you understand, any athlete, whatever has, they will get injured. Injuries can be classified based on the type of injury. So I have explained about the type of injuries, jaisa acute, chronic. Yeah, it can be also due to overuse injuries. So I've explained about different types of injuries. Coaches and physical education teachers are usually first on scene when injury happens. So that is the most important thing. You guys are the first one, and we are making this lectures more practical so that you get to know what to do. Refer to the medical team for faster return to sports and injury diagnosis. Because what happens is that in many cases, coaches think that the injury is very small, we will manage it, and they do not refer it also sometimes. In many cases also is there. So how we can bring them faster to sports, so that you can also help, and this thing where the coach and athlete are at the center. OEA is important, and the most important is it's a team approach. It is not an individual approach. Whatever the coach says or whatever the doctor says is the only thing. It is a team approach, and I hope this has covered a basic understanding of sports injuries, because it's a very basic concept. We have everything more in detail. That is what I told, because we have so much in detail. If I start talking about each sport injuries also, we have other speakers. So we have got we have got injuries in cricket, we have got injuries in boxing, we have got injuries in football. You've got one whole lecture series in that. So that is why I have taken only the basics, so that you understand when they use these terms. ये वाला terms they will use, such as acute, first degree injury, second degree injury होगा, that they might use terms. So you should understand कि यही है degree. This is what basically an injury is. Okay, this is what he means by that. First degree, second degree, third degree, क्या होता है? This is what a basic explanation. And from there you can build it on. I hope I was okay. I have tried to mix it a little bit Hindi. Please forgive me if I have made any grammatical and errors and everything. I've tried to make it. I am, whatever said, I am from Kerala. If you want, I can speak in Malayalam much more easier. But this is, I've tried to bring it a little bit. I hope you understand. I would like to thank again Dr. Vikram for inviting me to give this lecture. Over to you guys.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Siddharth. I think there is only one question in the chat box which I can see. The question is, sir, please explain. He is Abir Guha. Sir,
Yeah.
please explain the role of psychology in prevention of injury, how psychology can boost physical capacity to avoid injury. Gentleman, Abir Guha, he is a physician, team physician, is a doctor by background. So if you ask the psychology, maybe, I don't know how he can really satisfy you.
I can say that definitely psychology plays a role in injury management. The problem, as I told, no, we have two factors, intrinsic or extrinsic factors, which I told, which causes injuries. So in intrinsic factors, there is something which is psychological, which can cause injury. So if you are not confident enough, say for example, you are returning after an injury and you are going to compete in a competition, say 100 meters race ho raha hai, you are going to compete, you have got an earlier injury. तो क्या होता है कि what happens is that you start pushing yourself, means you want to compete this thing, but you're not psychologically ready to push because you have got that fear that you will get injured again. That is where the prevention of injury occurs. So that is how psychology works. So if you have got a very good psychology team, if you have got a good sports psychologist, he can help always. Otherwise, what you have to do is that if you have got a very good, as a team physician, as sir told earlier, if he has if you have got a very good connection with the team, you can talk to the person and try to build up his confidence and work with him. And this is how psychology boosts the physical capacity, so, and to avoid injury. And this is how I can simply explain it, as simple as possible.
There is another question, sir.
Yeah.
Name is Shuri
Mudaliar.
Mudaliar. Sir, is cartilage
Recovers after injury.
Recovers after injury.
Okay, this is a very complicated question because cartilage injury, it depends upon what type of injury. As you told, it becomes very complicated because if it's a basic cartilage injury, yes, there is a chance for recovery. If it is a very deep session, because I'm sure that Dr. Vikram will give a huge lecture on cartilage management itself. Because there is, if it is a very deep tear or there is a very deep damage onto the cartilage, then in certain cases you might require to do surgery itself. So it depends upon what type of cartilage damage do you mean. So for example, if you mean like a knee injury, a basic small cartilage, like something like what do you say? How do chondromalacia patella? If you, there is a term like that, it's a medical term. So if due to that, if that is the injury, a basic small injury, yes, due to exercises, yes, it will help. But if it is not due to the exercise, it's a much more deeper. It is there is a lot of cartilage damage. Then we might require more. You might require a surgical management or everything. So there are different methods for management. That's why it's very difficult to say will he recover after injury. It's a complicated question.
Another question is Nitin Patil. How many times to recover? How much time maybe?
Yeah.
To recover the Achilles tendonitis.
Okay, we will have a lecture just for Achilles tendonitis. I would advise you to attend that class because in that he will explain how long it will take and what they do exactly. because Achilles tendonitis is also very complicated. As I earlier told, it can be a chronic injury, it can be an acute injury. If it's a chronic Achilles tendinopathy, it will take even more longer time. So we will have so we will have an explain. We will have a lecture in future. I would advise you to attend that.
There is another question. Komal Sharma. What is the
Komal.
difference between chronic and overuse? I
Yeah.
think doctor has already
I,
explained it.
yeah, I've explained it. I think 2-3 times. I will. Okay, I will try to make it as simple as this thing. Overuse injury is a type of means chronic under chronic injury comes overuse injury. Okay, you have to understand that. If when you get injured, when a person gets injury due to a chronic injury, what is the cause? You understood? We have to think why that chronic injury has occurred. That could be due to overuse. So that is when we call it as an overuse injury. Now I think you have understood. Overuse injury cannot be an acute injury. Overuse injury will always be a chronic injury. That is as simple as what I can explain. What is the difference between chronic injury and overuse injury? Under chronic injury comes overuse injury. Okay.
Perfect. I think there is no any more question. So to the Dr. Siddharth, I should say Atramadi. So thank you.
Not bad. Excellent. You have spoken Malayalam very well.
Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So now to carry forward the session, may I request Dr. Anup Krishnan, please stop the sharing. If Anup Krishnan sir is there, Colonel Anup Krishnan.
Good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. So it is a fantastic session, and we all have enjoyed with the thorough knowledge of Dr. Siddharth. And as usual, Dr. Anup Krishnan, who is working for more than 15 years in the Indian Army in the different levels, as well as heading for many of the events for the country. He completed his MBBS from Mumbai and diploma in sports medicine from NSNS Patiala, then PhD in sports medicine, and having a lot of sports certification, sports medicine certification. He head the sports medicine team for India in international competitions as well as the tournaments. He remained the sports medicine doctor, team doctor for India in different international tournaments. A true researcher, I must say, he's a true researcher with an award of Chief of the Naval Staff in the year 2017. And I know him since a long back, and he is really fantastic and very specific, very particular, and very sincere, I should say, in delivering. So all the participants, you please take very serious note because we'll be speaking on-field management of sports injuries. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Devnath. And thank you, Dr. Vikram Sharma, PFI and University of Kota for giving me this opportunity. I will be speaking on-field management of sports injuries. I have been given a very good boost by the last speaker who has given me a very good total to bat against. So without further ado, I would like to start with a couple of case studies which will highlight the differences between what happens abroad and what happens in certain third world countries. Okay, so Fabrice Muamba. Now, Fabrice Muamba is a cricketer, is a footballer who was playing in the FA Cup, which is a very high level football tournament. Now, on 17th March 2012, he suffered a cardiac arrest and collapsed. He received lengthy attention from medical personnel, and then he was taken to London Chest Hospital. When he was taken to the hospital, he had already received several defibrillator shocks, both on the pitch and in the ambulance, but his heart had stopped for 78 minutes. However, despite all this, the player recovered completely. The next example, 5 days later, on 22nd March 2012, a 27-year-old Indian footballer playing in an A division match collapsed towards the end of the match. There was no doctor on site, there was no ambulance, and Venkatesh was taken to the hospital in a three-wheel auto rickshaw. Needless to say, he did not survive. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the difference between what happens if quality medical care is provided on the playing field and if medical care is not available on the playing field. If the player or if the event is valuable, then yes, medical care is always there, but nobody stops us from learning. Nobody stops the coach, the physical conditioners, the physical education teachers from learning. And please take this as a wonderful opportunity to learn and improve on your skills. Okay, so definition of a sports injury or is any physical complaint sustained by a player that results from a match or training, irrespective of the need for medical attention or time lost from physical activities. This is a definition from a paper in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. The International Olympic Commission Manual of Sports Injuries says any damage to the tissues of the body that occurs as a result of sport or exercise is a sports injury. What is the problem? The problem is 20% of school children and 28% of working adults will miss at least one day a year due to these sports injuries. Between the ages of 5 and 24, it is 1 out of every 5 injury episodes. Of these, 30 to 50% are overuse injuries, and 41% of all running injuries are reported to be from overuse. The rate is 26 injury episodes per 1,000 persons per year. To put it into perspective, this rate is more than the rate of transportation related injury. That means this injury rate is more than all injuries suffered from automobile accidents. If you look at injuries by sport, basketball is the most injury prone and wrestling is supposed to be the least injury prone. These are again US data. If you look at the injuries by body part, the ankle is the most commonly injured area, followed by the head and the fingers and so on. Now, why does this happen? Why do sports injuries happen? Most common cause of sports injury is some error in the training program. Sports injuries can happen from trauma. It can happen from overuse. Any biomechanical injury abnormality which the sportsman has will give rise to an injury when he exerts. It can happen from technical faults. It can happen due to lack of physical conditioning. It can happen due to weather. It can happen due to misuse of facilities and equipment. It can happen because of playing without lack of protective gear. It can happen because of lack of fitness. Any medical illness existing in the sportsman can give rise to a sports injury. Extremes of age, sports injuries are more common, that is children and elderly. And sports injuries can occur if you do not you play by the rules of the game. That means you disregard the rules of the game. Okay, now we come to the management. I will try and put as simply as possible. Management, you should always plan for the event. Please understand that incidence of critical injuries is low. That means life and limb threatening injuries are low. Always be prepared for the worst. Please understand, whenever there is a sports injury at a big event, there will always be mass confusion. The plan for evacuation should be written and rehearsed. That means what happens if there is an injury on this field? Where will the patient go? Which doctor, which hospital, which ambulance? What route will be taken? Who will accompany the patient? Everything will be written and rehearsed prior to the event. Manpower to be detailed and trained. Whatever your medical staff, your paramedics, your ambulance assistants, your ambulance drivers, your stretcher bearers, everybody should be detailed by name and by position or location in the sporting arena, and they should be trained accordingly. All your supplies, wherever they are located, should be checked and they should be placed in easily accessible areas. Communication. The medical team should have means of communication with each other and with the higher hospital. Please do not rely only on mobile phones for communication. They should always have backup radio sets. In case there is a breakdown in mobile communication, your medical team will be left high and dry and the patient will suffer. Accreditation and access. The medical team in today's world, most of the stadiums in big events have electronic gates. Your medical team, entire medical team, should have infinity passes, by which I mean their passes should be able to access each and every area of the field, including the field of play. If not, then you will not, or your team will not be able to reach the injured sportsman in time if you have to wait for somebody to give you access. This does not imply that you don't have a responsibility. If you have infinity access, you also have a responsibility that you should not misuse the access to the field of play. Now, during the sports event, always watch the game. If you are able to watch the player get injured, it is very easy for you to describe the injury to a doctor or a physio. A mechanism of injury which is recorded or which has been seen by somebody will help the doctor and the physio to take a call on what type of injury it is. If you are unable to watch the game live or directly, make sure there is arrangement of video playback so that you can watch the mechanism of injury. Generally speaking, you are supposed to wait for the umpire or the referee's call before you enter the field of play. However, if you feel that there is a life-threatening situation involving a player, the medical team in most of the games, in most of the sports, is authorized to enter the field of play if they feel that the situation is life-threatening. Once you are on the field, every game, every sport has got different game stoppage rules. You should be aware of these rules, and if you feel that your treatment or the patient's condition requires more time than what is available by the game stoppage rules, you should take the player off the field so that he can be managed better. Only one reason, only one dictum to be followed when you are part of a medical team: the sports person's health is paramount, irrespective of everything else, what player he is, how important he is to the team, how expensive a player he is, what point the game is poised, irrespective, the sports person's health is paramount. Okay, now you've reached the player. So what do? You do something called a primary survey. Now, in the primary survey, you look at the vital signs. These are signs which are responsible or which are important for life. Pulse, respiratory rate, blood pressure, temperature, skin color, the pupils in the eye, and the disposition of the patient or the position of the patient. It is a bit tough to remember, so I'll give you a acronym. A, B, C, D, E. A for airway maintenance with cervical spine protection. B for breathing and ventilation. C for circulation with hemorrhage control. D for disability or neurological evaluation. E for exposure and environment. So simple to remember, this is part of the primary survey which you will do when you reach the patient or when you reach the injured sports person. A, B, C, D, E. Once you have finished your primary survey, you should do a secondary injury survey. Now, what is a secondary injury survey? It's a thorough methodical evaluation of an athlete's overall health to reveal additional injuries beyond the initial injury. Now, for this secondary injury survey, something called HOPS is very common: history, observation, palpation, and special tests. On-field assessment, history. What is the location of the pain? Does the patient have any abnormal neurological signs like loss of consciousness, giddiness, slurring of speech, inability to maintain balance, etc.? What is the mechanism of injury, and did anybody hear any associated sounds like a snap, crack, pop, etc.? If you see the history table, a lot of diagnosis can be reached by just watching the mechanism of injury and taking the history. Observation. Check the surrounding area to ensure that your athlete or sports person is in a safe place. If he is not in a safe place, move him in a safe manner to an area where you can work upon him. Look at the body positioning of the athlete. Look at the movements which the athlete is making or is able to do. Look at the level of responsiveness of the athlete. Does he respond to your calling him? Does he respond to your shaking him? Or does he respond only to pain? Inspect for head or neck trauma and inspect the injured body part. Now, what do you look for in the injured body part? You look for the symmetry. That means, how is it in relation to the other side of the body? You look for general motor function. You look at his posture and his way of walking. You look for any deformity, swelling, discoloration, scars, and the general skin condition. Palpation. Palpation is when you touch the injured athlete or injured body part. Now, please understand the first dictum of palpation is do no harm. If you have to touch the athlete, please ensure that you do not injure him further. So you palpate his joints, his bones, the soft tissue, take the skin temperature, rule out any fracture, and look for any areas of muscle spasm. This is functional testing which we or the medical team will do to the athlete, which is called active range of motion. That means the range which the patient can do on his own, passive range of motion, which you have to do it for the patient, resistive range of motion, which the patient can you mute the mic, please? Yeah, thank you. So resistive range of motion, in which you put the joint or the limb under stress and very simply check if the patient or the athlete can do any weight bearing. If he is able to do weight bearing, the picture is different. If you want to test any ligament, you do a stress test of the particular ligament. And if you want to test the higher brain functions, you should always do a neurological testing, whether he can feel any sensations, whether he is able to move his limbs, and there are certain special tests like SCAT5, which is used to determine his concussion status. Now, these are specialized tests, but you should be aware of these tests so that you can ensure that your medical team gives these tests to the athlete before they put him back on the field of play. Moving the athlete. Now, if you have to move the athlete, there are special techniques which the medical team will employ to move the athlete. You may use an ambulance, or you may use a trolley. You may pick up the athlete manually and take him out. In case of spine injuries, you will always use a spine board.
Please mute. Participants, please mute yourself. आप लोग अपना माइक को बंद रखें. Please, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. In case you have to move an athlete who's got any spine injuries, he will always have to be moved with a spine board. And these are specialized boards, and there is a special technique for moving a patient with spine injuries. Kindly ensure that your medical team uses these techniques. In case the game you're giving cover to is water sports, you may have to use pole extraction techniques to remove the athlete from the water. Imaging. Now, these are something which are generally done in hospitals once the patient reaches the hospital. Plain X-rays, musculoskeletal ultrasounds, MRI, CT scan, and bone scan. However, nowadays, a lot of physicians are carrying musculoskeletal ultrasound units to the playing field, and they are using these MSK imaging ultrasound on the playing field to determine the extent and the depth of injuries. Now, this is a very important slide because always this question will come, can the athlete continue to play? If you find any of these, please do not allow him to play. Now, what are these conditions? Number one, central nervous system injury, that is head and spine, that is brain and spine. If the athlete has any brain or spine injury, please remove him from play for further investigation. LOC, the loss of consciousness. If an athlete has any episode of loss of consciousness, please remove him from the field. Active bleeding. Athlete is bleeding actively from any side, remove him from the field. Joint, bone, and ligament damage. Dislocations, fractures, ligament tears, subluxations, any joint, bone, and ligament damage, please remove the athlete from the field. If the athlete is unable to bear body weight, remove him from the field. He will require further investigation. Muscle tears will require further investigation and long-term treatment. He is not fit to play. Cerebrovascular system trauma and arrhythmias, that means any trauma to the heart and any abnormal heart rhythms. If he displays, he is not fit to play. Head, face, and neck injuries. If he has injury to any part of the head, face, neck, please remove him from the field of play so that his injury can be further evaluated. Any of these conditions, make sure you're very firm with the team as well as the other players. Please ensure that the player should not continue. If he continues, he is more likely to harm himself or he is more likely to lose a limb or his life. Now, there is something called the injury management pyramid for any management of any sports injuries. Now, the injury management pyramid goes from the bottom to top. Diagnosis, control of inflammation, healing, therapeutic exercise, abuse of exercise, and return to sport. Now, the first and foremost is acute pathoanatomical diagnosis, which depends upon the first responder to a large extent. How he has been managed in the first stage of injury on the field will allow us to reach accurate pathoanatomical diagnosis in a faster manner. And if the first step is done well, then the rest of the steps will proceed accordingly. So, how do you prevent these now? First and foremost, ensure something called pre-participation medical examination before any sport. Ensure that the sports medicine team looks at him and clears him for participation in sport. If there is any biomechanical abnormality, ensure that it is detected early and corrected. Proper warm up, proper cooling down is a must for every training and sport session. Ensure that he has a proper diet and he practices good hydration techniques. If he is playing any sport, ensure that his technique is good and correct. Ensure his equipment is good and proper. Make sure his physical conditioning is very good and is appropriate to the level he is playing. Make sure the training program which is prescribed for him is scientific and managed properly. Make sure that the facilities which you're giving him are scientific and the facilities are also well managed. Do not put players who are not of the same level in the same playing field. That means do not put a beginner against a national level athlete, or do not put a school level athlete against an international level athlete. There will be sports injuries. Make sure all the rules and the enforcement of the rules are proper and they are done in a very commonsensical manner. And last but not least, please use common sense at all stages. So, what are the take home messages for you? Sports injuries are common, preventable, and inevitable. Pre event training and rehearsals are vital for the medical response team. Evaluation of the injury requires an understanding of the sports activity and the mechanism of injuries. Act fast and decisively. Do not be in yes, no, maybe situations. There is no maybe, it should be yes or no. Diagnostic imaging to be used as appropriate as possible. Bystander CPR can save lives. Please ensure that there is mandatory training in basic life support, advanced coronary life support, and advanced trauma life support for every person who is present in the stadium. It is not a very big thing. And if each and every one of us is trained in CPR, you can definitely save lives. The new concept is called bystander CPR. That means जो बगल में खड़ा है वो CPR दे रहा है. I seem to have finished, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you,
Sir,
sir.
I want to ask you one question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, what is the meaning of erythemus, the last second word in a fourth and fifth slide, fourth or fifth slide? Last
Arrhythmias,
second.
ma'am.
Yeah,
Arrhythmias.
I think.
Okay, ma'am.
I-
Arrhythmias are any abnormal heart rhythms.
Sorry, sir.
The heart is supposed to beat with a proper rhythm. Any abnormal rhythm
Okay, rhythm.
is called arrhythmias.
Dr. Anu, you can learn more about the arrhythmia. We have a CPR section on coming Sunday. So Dr. Ritu Sharma would be there, and he is a American Heart Association certified trainer. So you can ask in detail about arrhythmias from her also.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
To all the audience or the participants, if you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the question. अगर यदि आप कोई सवाल या कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहते हैं, तो आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कीजिए और सवाल कीजिए. There is a question from Shubham Sharma. Dr. Saab, if you can see Colonel Anup ji. What will be the case in head injury? We have to act within 10 seconds. Compression should be 5 inch, not more than 6 inch. If that doesn't work.
Okay, I think his question is related to CPR, and I'll request you to attend the lecture on CPR for your more clarity on this. You will give chest compressions only if the heart is stopped. Otherwise, you will not give chest compression. If he has a head injury but his heart is functioning, you do not need to give chest compression.
Okay.
Chest compressions will be given only in cases where the heart is stopped.
थैंक यू सर. अगर किसी का कोई सवाल है तो आप अनम्यूट करके पूछ सकते हैं. पीछे का
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. Myself, Dr. Lakhbir Kaur. I need to know one answer about basketball.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, basketball जैसे आपने बात की है कि सबसे फर्स्ट पे आता है इंजरी प्रोन्स में, तो इसमें एंकल इंजरीज को हम अवॉइड कैसे कर सकते हैं? कोई एंकल शू या कुछ पर्टिकुलर
how to prevent ankle injuries in basketball?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there is something called preconditioning and there is something called an ankle injury prevention program,
Okay,
which
sir.
you have to prescribe to the athlete during his training. Number
Okay,
one.
sir.
Number two, he should be playing with appropriate footwear, appropriate
sir.
ankle support, and he should be playing on a proper court. Most of the injuries are because of improper footwear and landing on an area where the court is not proper.
Yes, sir.
So, firstly, proper footwear, proper training, and an ankle injury prevention program during his training.
So can we use crepe bandage on ankles?
Okay, ma'am, use of crepe bandage normally is not, normally we do not prescribe crepe bandage for a normal patient. We normally prescribe taping or any bandage support, ankle support to a patient who is recovering from an ankle injury. For prevention, we do not prescribe ankle support or crepe bandage.
As sir, I have seen in the ground, very beginner players also used to use this crepe bandage.
Yes, madam.
So,
If they use crepe bandage, they are activating and firing some other muscles which are not supposed to be fired.
okay, sir.
They will not be
So
using
will-
proper movement patterns which they are supposed to use, and it will cause other forms of injury.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, ma'am.
Any more question, please? और कोई सवाल?
Hello, sir. This is Farooq Ahmed. Sir, my question is, sir, is this advisable to go for an athlete, ask an athlete to wear a mask nowadays and go for a certain amount of training to carry out any training, sir? Is this advisable, sir? Thank you.
Okay. Wearing of mask during training. Please understand that there will be some amount of increased respiratory effort if you're wearing a mask during training. However, it depends upon the type of the mask and the type of the training which you are undertaking. Usually, elite athletes will be in a bio bubble while training. So, and if you're doing moderate or high intensity training, a simple surgical mask, if required, may be used. In no condition will you use an N95 mask during training because of the increased respiratory effort.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Good
Any
afternoon,
more question, please? Shanul Bashir.
sir. Good afternoon. My question is related to posterior cruciate ligament and anterior cruciate ligament that is related to knee. Basically, what I have read, that is that reason for the duplication of ligaments in the knee. What I have studied is the ratio of hamstring and ligament, ratio of hamstring and quadricep muscle is less due to because of that our ACL and PCL injuries occurs. Is it right?
Okay.
Because of the strength of ratio between the hamstring and quadriceps.
It is not just hamstring and quadriceps. Every joint has got an appropriate muscle balance which is supposed to be maintained. For example, in the knee joint, the hamstring and the quadriceps, the QH ratio is supposed to be 60 and 40. Now, if there is an imbalance in this ratio, the athlete is more prone to injuries, and it is true not only for the knee joint, it is true for any other joint, including like the shoulder, the elbow, and the hip.
Thank you.
I think if you permit me, most of the people, we don't exercise our hamstring. That is another biggest drawback in most of the cases. Any more question, please? आप सवाल कीजिए तो अच्छा सेशन चलेगा. अगर सवाल नहीं करते तो बस.
Okay, I have a question. I'm seeing a question.
Sir, basically, बताया कि it's not because of ratio, but what I have read, I'm from basketball and I'm doing a diploma from National Institute of Sports, but the turning effect of popliteus muscle, that is in our knee, I think, which unlocks our knee. That is the main reason due to which the ACL or PCL injury occurs in our knee.
No, I would not. I don't. Yeah, Dr. Vikram Sharma.
So I think whenever there's a twisting injury and the conditioning is not proper, you are happen to go for a ACL tear. So
the role of popliteus would be, putting the role of popliteus in ACL and PCL injuries would be an oversimplification.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for ACL, there is a clear-cut indication is full body weight on a single knee bend position. When there is a twisting movement of a single knee and landing on the single knee with full body weight, that is the cause of the main cause of the ACL tear.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Unconditioned body, Shubham Sharma,
yes,
if
sir.
the body is unconditioned, then every injuries will take place. The strength and conditioning part, because it is a weight bearing joint.
Yes, sir.
So I think you have to take care in every way.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm saying.
But most of the cases, players are too elite, and they are doing most of the work in strength. They're working more on.
I think his video is free, so yeah.
There is another question. In athletic, beginners suffer from knee pain and shin pain. What does prevention for that?
Yeah, okay. Prevention for knee pain and shin pain in beginners.
Yeah.
Number one, start the training program low and slow. That means low loads and slow increase in load. Number one. Number two, make sure that the athlete has got a proper lower limb strength training program prior to his starting his running. Number three, avoid running on the roads initially. Number four, make sure his footwear is correct.
सर इसमें एक क्वेश्चन मेरा भी है.
Please, madam.
कि अगर
Please, madam. I think for the shin pain, most of the cases, all of a sudden we start with the fourth gear. Please avoid that, because unless until we get warmed up with the lower leg muscles, then the shin pain is must. It will happen. So try to avoid. Along with, I just added one concept. If you go for the warm up of your lower leg muscles, then definitely you will not suffer from the shin pain. Thank you. Lakwinder comment. Yeah.
Yes. सर जो शिन पेन का जो प्रॉब्लम है, क्या वो जैसे सरफेस बच्चा रनिंग करते करते सरफेस चेंज कर रहा है, हार्ड टू सॉफ्ट आ रहा है, सॉफ्ट टू ट्रैक पे हो रहा है, सिंथेटिक पे हो रहा है, ग्रासी पे हो रहा है, तो उस वो भी वजह है शिन पेन की?
Yes. If you're a beginner, ideally start running on grass, soft sand, and then start running on a track, and then come to road running. If you directly start road running as a beginner, you're going to face problems.
Hello, sir. Shin pain or a bone pain can occur due to calcium deficiency.
Shin pain or bone pain, yes, can occur due to calcium deficiency. But अगर आप elite athlete की बात कर रहे हैं तो या अगर आप elite athlete की बात कर रहे हैं तो generally his deficiencies and other things are taken care of by his sports nutritionist and his medical team. But yeah, beginners, yes, it can occur due to calcium deficiency.
And sometimes, if you allow me, this is related to vitamin D deficiencies also.
Calcium deficiency, vitamin D3 deficiency goes hand in hand, sir.
Yeah.
In most of the cases.
So what's the solution? Has they have to take the vitamin D shots and calcium courses or something like that?
Sir, firstly, we will try and find out what is the cause of the deficiency, whether it is only purely calcium or it is calcium and vitamin D3 deficiency. If it is a treatable cause, then we treat the patient with supplements, and very rarely, in very severe cases of deficiencies, do we have to go for injectables. We give injectables only as a last resort.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Thank
I have
you.
a question. Sir, being a karate coach, I have a student who is treated with the ACL. So अभी मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा था कि उसको पंचिंग बैग पे किक करने के लिए कितना अलाउ कर सकते हैं और स्क्वाट्स में कितना वेट पुट ऑन करने के लिए उसको अलाउ कर सकते हैं, rather than he is continuing with the punching bag or he is उसको पंचिंग बैग पे करने से मना कर सकते हैं?
क्या उसको प्लेयर को रिटर्न टू प्ले का सर्टिफिकेशन मिला है उसके डॉक्टर से?
जी यस.
कितना टाइम हो गया सर्जरी के बाद?
सर्जरी के बाद भी 1.5 year.
1.5 years.
यस.
क्या उसका quadriceps hamstring रेशियो आइसोकाइनेटिक या 1RM से निकाला गया है?
नहीं, वो तो नहीं चेक किया सर.
तो बिफोर यू स्टार्ट हिम ऑन एनी सच प्रोग्राम्स, मेरा रिकमेंडेशन यही रहेगा कि उसका पहले नी बैलेंसेस निकालिए और नी और हिप का मसल स्ट्रेंथ निकालिए. 1RM, अगर 1RM अवेलेबल है तो, या तो फिर आइसोकाइनेटिक डायनामोमेट्री से. उसके आगे ही हम आपको कुछ बोल पाएंगे.
ओके, फाइन सर, फाइन सर.
Any more questions?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening.
Nikita.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, good evening, sir. This is Nikita Gaikwad. सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि बहुत से प्लेयर्स की ये कंप्लेन होती है कि उनको जो क्रैम्प आते हैं, जो कुछ प्लेयर्स को नींद में भी क्रैम्प आ जाते हैं, तो वो किस वजह से होते हैं? किसी डिफिशिएंसी की वजह से या फिर वर्कआउट ज्यादा होने से या किसी अदर?
Okay, cramping in sportsmen is most commonly due to number 1 fluid deficiency, number 2 electrolyte imbalance, and very rarely calcium and vitamin D3 deficiency. Most common पानी की कमी, उसके बाद salt, potassium या other electrolytes की कमी या imbalance, और बहुत ही rare conditions में vitamin D3 या calcium की कमी.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hello.
Please.
Sir, this is Dhananjay Singh, Assistant Professor, Satish Sen College, Balia. I have a question, sir, that at the starting phase of running, there are a lot of athletes who feels pain in their abdominal. What are the causes of their pain and how to overcome it?
Okay. What you're describing is something called an abdominal stitch.
Please, others, please unmute. Don't unmute your mic. Please mute yourself. Please let our expert to explain the question. Please, sir. Anuj, sir.
Okay. What you're describing is what is called an abdomen stitch, which is commonly called an abdomen stitch. And this is what happens is.
Yes, sir, maybe. I have no idea about the name of the abdominal pain.
Okay. Now, what you're describing is an abdomen stitch. Now, what is happening is the blood flow to the gut is being diverted to your exercising muscles. Now, this generally happens if you exercise very in a short period after your last meal. So, your blood flow, your gut requires blood flow to digest your last meal, and at the same time you start exercising. So the blood flow is diverted from the gut to the exercising muscles, and the gut becomes starved of blood flow and oxygen. And this is what is a cause of an abdominal stitch. It generally goes away if you rest for some time. It does not require any specific treatment as such. Only thing it requires is increase the time between the last meal and the beginning of your exercise.
With your permission, sir, I just want to add.
Please,
many times, being a player, also we used to experience that if you start with the high intensity running, then another two physiological functions like second wind as well as the oxygen depth, it will occur.
Yeah.
And ultimately it goes to the stitch, as
Yeah.
what you explained.
Yeah.
So the intensity, gentlemen, if you start with the minimum warm up, first you warm up with static stretch, then you go for the slow pace warm up, and after that you go for some dynamic exercises, and then you go for the running or whatever the dose you want. Then your body will resist. Others you will face always trouble with your abdomen pain. Sir, there is a question from Pakistan. It is Hafiz Abdul. Sir, can you please guide why fingers are going freezing in archery? Draw hand. After 200 arrows shoot and fingers looks like dry or no blood in fingers.
Okay. This is because of a phenomenon which is called tetany. If you keep stimulating a muscle continuously, after some time it will become fatigued and it will go into something called tetany. This is because of something to do with calcium ions in the musculature. It is highly technical. Simple explanation is, अगर आप किसी मसल को बार बार काम करवाते रहेंगे, थोड़ी देर के बाद वो जैम हो जाएगा क्योंकि उसको टेटनी हो जाता है. ये इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन यही है.
बिल्कुल हाफिज जी, अगर और कुछ पूछना है तो आप पूछ सकते हैं, क्योंकि आप पाकिस्तान से हैं तो हमें फक्र है कि इस प्रोग्राम में इंटरनेशनल पार्टिसिपेंट भी कुछ सवाल कर रहे हैं और आप इसमें ब्रेक लीजिए. 200 एरोस चलाना, बिकॉज आई हैव बीन वर्किंग विद आर्चर्स, दिस इज नो फन कि 200 एरोस चला दिया, 300 एरोस चला दिया, उससे आपका परफॉर्मेंस जिंदगी में नहीं आएगा. इंजरी जरूर आप डेवलप कर जाएंगे. Sir, there is again another question from Ravi Bhushan. How to ascertain whether bone and shin pain is due to poor running surface, poor footwear, or lack of vitamin D or calcium deficiency?
All of the above.
Yeah. The answer is very simple. It is all of the above.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Farooq.
Can I ask you? Sir. Good evening, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, is there? I'm actually a water sports coach, sir. Is there any specific things, sir? We must ensure, sir, before we ask our students to go for a water training, because the boat are very unfragile, so unstable. I mean to say, is there anything that we must take care before we ask them to go for a heat and something like that, sir?
Yes, which as I mentioned, the equipment and the facilities management is very important in the prevention of sports injuries. So if your equipment and facilities are not well managed and not well maintained, there will always be problems with injuries.
No, I mean to say some diet in terms of, sir, can we allow them to have some water, sir? Some have them sips during the training, because they are very far from the shore, in the middle of the water lake, sir.
Okay, now you have now you have taken me into the field of sports nutrition, specifically pre-event nutrition and intra-event nutrition. Now, yes, uh, pre-event nutrition is important, pre-event hydration is important, and intra-event hydration and intra-event nutrition is also important. Only thing you should keep in mind is whatever you take pre-event and intra-event should not be sweet. If it is more than 6% of glucose during these periods, the insulin response will kick in and the performance will drop. So whatever you may feed or you may give fluids or whatever, but it should not be sweet.
Perfect.
Okay, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Oh,
Yeah, Dhananjay.
Sir.
yeah. Hello. Yes, sir. I have a question. That is that pre-stretch before the training or before the workout is important, or we can go for the direct workout. So
I'm sorry, there's a lot of disturbance. I didn't hear your question, please.
Others,
I
please.
repeat my,
Others,
I
please.
repeat my question. Hello.
प्लीज आप लोग बात कर रहे हैं
सर ये पागल हो गए सर मैं बोल रहा हूँ म्यूट कर दो सर ये जो यूज करती है ना सर ये देखो सर जो यूज कर रही है ना मैं बोल रहा हूँ
नवीन जी आप अपना
So host can mute them.
So mute everyone, please. You can mute everyone. Are you the host of?
सर मैं बोल रहा हूँ ये पुराना
Subirji, are you the host right now?
Yeah.
So you mute everyone. You can mute everyone.
हाँ सर ये बोले 14,000 का एयरपोर्ट खरीद
People are
मैं
not
10,000 का फोन लेके घूम रहा हूँ ये 14,000 का एयरपोर्ट मेरे को 7,000 में दिला रहा सर
Okay, let me do this. Let me do this.
सारे बंदे को कम से कम 25 वाला देना 25,000 वाला
Hello.
Tell please.
Yeah.
Your question.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, it is audible.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jyoti Tiwari from Bhopal, volleyball coach. Sir, my question is how frozen shoulder is caused and what its treatment are.
Okay. Frozen shoulder is something in which the shoulder is unable to perform its normal range of motion. It is caused by something called, I'm putting it very crudely, there are bands of fiber or bands of scar tissue which form around the bones of the shoulder. So it is like wearing a very tight shirt. If you wear a very tight shirt, you will not be able to lift your shoulder above the shoulder. So similarly, bands form around the shoulder joint and it prevents the joint from going through its complete range of motion. The treatment per se, there are several modalities which are available for treatment and ranging from conservative exercises, physiotherapy modalities, drugs, and in very rare cases, in very severe cases, even surgery.
Okay, thank you, sir.
We have a session on shoulder sports injuries. So Dr. Raju Ishwaran would be talking in detail about that. So,
Okay, sir. I have a question about shoulder, so I'll ask that time only.
Yeah.
There is a question from Shiva Shankar. Sir, can a sports injury occur due to lack of body posture?
Yes, poor body posture will cause you injuries. If you poor body posture will if body posture is poor, it signifies that there is lack of muscle conditioning, there is lack of preconditioning, there is lack of pre-event or pre-training. So in that case, yes, poor posture will cause injuries.
Poor posture actually, if you see in the biomechanical angle, if the alignment of the body is not being maintained, then always you'll suffer or you'll have to counteract with the external forces on your body. So you'll always having some pain, or the performance will not be up to the mark as desired by you. Again, Shiva Shankar, he has asked, sir, why does shooting pain occurs in knee or lower back? Shooting pain, I don't know.
Okay, shooting pain in lower back and back of the knee is caused by a condition called sciatica, which is basically because of irritation or compression of the nerves which come from the lower spine behind the from the buttock gluteal region and behind the back of the knee. Now, if there is any nerve root irritation in that sciatic nerve, it causes sciatica or shooting pain.
Sir, you said about the liquid intake during the exercise, about the glucose. Can you explain it again once more?
Yeah, I can, but I think there is a section on sports nutrition also, and this question will be more appropriately directed at that particular time.
Sure, sure.
You have my email. You can shoot me direct questions. I can give you an answer there.
Great.
Thanks, sir. Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Sir, is that pre-stretch before the workout or before the conditioning is important to prevent the injury?
Come again, please.
Sir, is that pre-stretching is important before the warm-up or before the match to prevent the injury?
Yes, stretching. You're talking about stretching.
Yes, sir. Pre-stretch?
Yes. Nowadays, the concept is dynamic warm-up, which involves stretching as well as warm-up. Yes, stretching is very important.
Okay. All right, sir. Actually, I have a confusion. Some days before, I ever read an article of Australian strength and conditioning, where they mentioned that pre-stretching may be not very compulsion before the workout. So I had questions. So
Yeah, there are several articles which are coming out, which are challenging several old held concepts in sports and exercise sciences. But before you read or interpret an article, it is always better to look at what is the level of evidence of that article. If it is level 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and my recommendation is you change your training program or you change your training schedule only if there are very high level of evidences which come up in the article.
All right.
Otherwise, on the basis of one odd article or one odd study, I will not recommend you to change anything drastic, because we really don't know the long-term effects of all these studies, and you may be actually harming your athlete by doing so.
Sir, this is same in condition of post-workout stretch. Like
Yes, sir.
Like I think
Sir, unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry.
Vivek sir, unmute yourself. Mathur sir, unmute.
Sample size is again very important factor, as well as the impact factor of the article published in which type of journal. And reading here and there the different article is not good, and rather more confusing.
And nowadays it has become a fashion, or it has become the in thing to publish an article and give a very controversial title, just in the hope that people will read the article.
News.
Yeah.
Just to add on, sir, I have worked along with the cricket team, BCCI cricketers. So we are following the Australian protocols. In Australian protocols, if the sit-and reach test is 14 plus, you get 10 out of 10. So in Indian context, even in the Rajasthan player, their sit-and reach goes up to 27 centimeters. So we cannot explain, because we are more flexible. Indian players are more flexible. So the pre-stretch, which Dhananjay was asking, you can do, but if it is for the Indians, the populations again differ. The research may took place in Australia or New Zealand or wherever it is. But unless until it is an Indian thorough research, then we cannot realize because we are dealing with the Indians.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
most of the norms which we are following in terms of testing, in terms of talent identification, and all are based upon international tests and international norms. Very few institutes in India have India-specific norms. The Sports Authority of India last, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, they came out with an Indian-specific battery of tests. Army Sports Institute in Pune, they follow their own test battery, which are all specific for Indian population. So before we interpret anything which has been done on a Western population, it would be worthwhile to do the same thing on an Indian population and then interpret the results accordingly.
Sir, in addition, I have one more question. Sir, after every day of workout sessions, it is important to do stretching in terms of post-workout, like for improving flexibility of our players. Is it important to perform every day post-workout stretch after the workout session?
Now that depends upon the type of training which you have done. If you have done endurance training, so yes, you should. If you have done high intensity strength training, if you start stretching a muscle which has been which has undergone high intensity strength training, whatever gains you got with the strength training, you will not be able. You will be negating with your stretching. So again, it depends upon the type of workout and the type of training and what phase of training the athlete is in.
Sir, I have one more question. If you're consistently doing high intensity training or weight training kind of exercise, as you say that if we do post workout stretch every day after the workout, so we'll lose our strength. So, sir, if I'll do a regular basis,
you will not lose your strength.
Yeah.
You will not lose your strength, but you will not get the gains which you're supposed to have been, which you're supposed to get from the workout.
Okay, sir. On daily basis, if we are doing weight training exercises, so our range of motion gets limited.
Yes.
And if we're not doing flexibility or post-workout stretches, the muscles get stiff. So the range of motion will compromises. So how will overcome it?
Are you talking about a bodybuilder who's doing weight training every day?
Yeah, maybe, sir. Maybe
if it is a bodybuilder, he does not require a full range of motion. He only requires a bulk of muscles. Now, if you're talking about a sportsman, he will never do weight training every day. His training program will be a mix.
All right, sir.
Hello, sir.
All the thank you. I think, gentlemen, this will be the last question.
Hello.
Already we have
Excuse me, sir. I'm Dr. A.K. Pandey, sports officer from IT Roorkee.
Yeah.
Sir, please suggest me this type of injury we can use contrast bath, means strain or strain.
Come again? I didn't hear the question, please.
Sir, please suggest me this type of injuries we can use contrast bath, means strain or strain.
Okay. Contrast bath is generally used more on in the chronic injuries rather than the acute injuries, because in the acute injuries, generally for 72 hours you use cryotherapy, and beyond 72 hours you start with your heating modalities. Contrast bath generally used in more chronic injuries to help in reducing the recovery time.
Like Colonel Anu, we can add on like in plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
Very successful.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Please, I think we are having short of time. Already we have passed 7. So thank
Sir,
you.
I have a question from you only, Dr. Vikram.
We are coming up with the next days, because this, whatever you are asking, actually it should be related with the topic has been taught to you. ऐसे तो दुनिया भर के सारे क्वेश्चंस सबके पास होंगे, पर जो टॉपिक बेस्ड है, आज अगर ऑन फील्ड मैनेजमेंट ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स इंजरीज उसके बारे में आप पूछते हैं तो बहुत अच्छा है. और थैंक यू. आई थिंक डॉक्टर अनूप हैज डन अ रिमार्केबल जॉब. Dr. Vivek and Dr. Siddharth.
Excuse me, sir.
Dr. Vikram, I think it is a wonderful session. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and all the organizers for being patient. And tomorrow we'll be meeting again at the same time with the same platform at 5. So over to Dr. Vikram.
So thank you everyone for this patience listening. I understand that आप लोगों के कुछ questions बाकी रहे होंगे, but I just want to assure that because we have a detailed session, this is going to be a 11-day program और हम लोग हर topic के बारे में बहुत detail में बात करेंगे, so no need to worry about that. So as we have a shoulder specific, ankle specific, elbow specific, वो सारे detailed talk हैं, तो आपको ऐसा कोई बहुत ज़्यादा घबराने का जरूरत नहीं है. Tomorrow we are going to have a very special session. That would be we are going to cover eye injuries, sports injuries, and head injuries. So for eye injuries, we have Dr. Ashok Kumar Singh with us, and Dr. Ashok is a very renowned ophthalmic surgeon. तो हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं कि जो आंखों में इंजरीज हो जाती हैं बॉक्सिंग के दौरान, डायरेक्ट हिटिंग के दौरान, लेसरेशन हो सकता है, आंखों में एलर्जीज हो सकती हैं, तो किस तरह से हम उनको पहचान सकते हैं, क्या प्राइमरी ट्रीटमेंट दे सकते हैं. ENT के इंजरीज के बारे में हम लोग बात करेंगे. कान पे कोई लेसरेशन हो जाता है, कोई किसी किस्म का हिट हो जाता है, तो किस तरह से डील करना होता है. एपिस्टेक्सिस जो होता है, नेजल ब्लीड होता है, तो प्राइमरीली उसको कैसे ट्रीट करना होता है, कैसे आप लोग ऑन फील्ड उसको हैंडल कर सकते हैं. कंकशन इन फुटबॉल के बारे में बात करेंगे, तो उसके लिए हमारे साथ में डॉक्टर निशित रंजन चौधरी वुड बी देयर, एंड डॉक्टर निशित इज अ वेल नोन नेम. ही वर्क्स विद AFC, एशियन फुटबॉल कॉन्फेडरेशन, एंड FIFA ऑल्सो. तो कल इन तीनों टॉपिक्स के बारे में हम लोग बात करेंगे. सो बी प्रिपेयर्ड विद योर क्वेश्चंस. आप अपने सारे सवाल तैयार रखिए, एंड सो सी यू अगेन बाय 5 PM tomorrow. Bye. Yeah.
Can you please detail this all these things ना जो आपने बोली अभी कि कल कौन से टॉपिक्स होंगे एंड कौन कौन उनको लेगा, डिग्निटरीज कौन से उनको मतलब एक्सप्लेन करेंगे.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that?
Hello. Sir, I'm saying, can you please share these details in the group?
Hello. Hello.
Shubham, she is asking something. Please don't interfere. Yeah, please.
Sir, can you please share all the things what you have just told that about face injury and all, जो भी कल की जो डिटेल है उसको सब ग्रुप में शेयर कर देंगे ताकि एक बार याद रहे कि क्या क्या चीजें हैं और कौन कौन ले रहा है. एक्चुअली
Madam, everything is there in the scientific program. Scientific program हम लोगों ने सबको WhatsApp किया हुआ है, सबको mail किया हुआ है. So all the topics are mentioned over there. And are you a part of that WhatsApp group for the delegates?
Yes, sir, I'm there. And
हाँ, so हाँ बताएं.
सर उसमें आपने जो ब्रोशर में दिया है तो पूरा कंबाइंड एक मतलब पॉइंट टू पॉइंट है, लेकिन वो डे वाइज नहीं है. तो आई एम जस्ट सेइंग कि डे वाइज
मैडम उसमें डे वाइज ही है. आप यू जस्ट गो थ्रू दैट. उसमें डे वाइज है कल क्या टॉपिक्स होंगे एंड हु आर द स्पीकर्स. दैट इज वेरी वेल मेंशन्ड एज आई हैव एक्सप्लेन्ड. कल हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं आई इंजरी के बारे में, ईयर इंजरी के बारे में और हेड इंजरीज के बारे में.
ओके सर. ओके फाइन.
Thank you very much, sir.
सर सॉरी फॉर इंटरप्ट यू. सर मैं ये सेशन अगर फिर से सुनना चाहता हूँ क्योंकि मैं इसमें अभी इस बार ये सेशन सुन नहीं पाया. अगर मैं सेशन फिर से सुनना चाहता हूँ,
we will share you the videos. Don't worry.
So it's in
WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
I would like to interrupt here. आलोक सर, आप जैसा कह रहे हैं कि आप ये सेशन फिर से सुनना चाहते हैं, तो विक्रम सर प्लीज करेक्ट मी इफ आई एम रॉन्ग. यही लिंक YouTube पे अवेलेबल रहेगी. आप कभी भी जाकर YouTube से ये लिंक को दोबारा देख सकते हैं और ये पूरा सेशन दोबारा देख सकते हैं.
हाँ बिल्कुल. उसमें कुछ जो इनिशियल फ्लॉज हैं उनको एडिट करके विल अगेन अपलोड. एंड डॉक्टर अनूप कृष्ण इज काइंड इनफ टू शेयर हिज PPT टू अस आल्सो. तो वो PPT भी हम लोग आपके साथ में शेयर करने वाले हैं. सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Fine.
Thank
So
you.
bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So see you tomorrow.
Thank you.